Hi, everybody. How have you been? Um, it's been a while since I've put anything up. I meant to do one of these update videos months ago, but the truth is, I just hate doing them. Honestly, it feels like I always feel like I have to explain myself for being away for a while, and I know it is a good idea to do that, but at the same time, it makes me feel bad. But I'm biting the bullet and doing it now, letting you know how things have been going over here at Chateau Floof. First off and foremost, I am fine. Let's just date the video right now. But I am fine with all this bullshit going on. Um, I have been fortunate enough for my day job to allow me to work from home, and so that's what I've been doing for the most part since this happened is still working. So that's good for me. And for the most part, I haven't been leaving the house. Like I only really leave the house like once every couple of weeks to get groceries or something. The rest of the time, I'm just boarded up in my house, which is if I didn't have to go to the office almost every day, in normal circumstances, I would be, locking myself in the house anyway because I am a sad, sad human being. Just on a side note here, apologies for the lighting situation. I just realized I hadn't addressed that. I'm actually waiting on a new light bulb to come in. My light bulb is currently, I think it's on its last legs. I have one of those like LED light bulbs that I put in, like the more common nowadays ones. I put it in like when I first moved in. Right now it's blinking, which means that I think it means that there's something wrong with it. And so I've opened up the back window there for like the first time since I moved in. So that's the thing that happened. Anyway, I've been fine. I think the only other time I've really left the house, other than to just do quick errands, there was one week I did go down to Florida to visit family. Um, and yeah, like the responsible millennial that I am, but I did take precautions. It's been over a month since I went down there, and I'm still okay. So I didn't. I mean, I was when I was down there, I was like at my parents' house like the whole time anyway. So that works out. But I'm okay. That's the big takeaway from that bullet point there. So where have I been? It seems like we were on an up and up thing. Getting the podcast up and running again in the middle of a thrilling control let's play, but I got burned out. That's the big thing that happened. Um, even now, I have some degree of not really being in a mindset or mood or whatever to want to record something. In the interim, since putting up the last control video, we did have another record session, but I didn't edit any of it, and I never put it up, and I'm not going to. Mainly because of timing, especially the podcast itself. That episode would have been out of date like a month later or a week later, let alone what like it's been like over 3 months now. And I'll get to the LP in a bit, but yeah. Um, the only other thing I've really recorded was stuff for Lego Dimensions, which again I'll get to later. But this is the first thing I've really recorded and putting up since then. I cite the primary reason as the new COPA policies. I noticed that like most of the channels that I watch really haven't done anything different. Like the first few weeks, maybe, of the COPA stuff, they were putting up um, like these are meant for not kids. Like disclaimers in their videos. I'm like, dude, that's not going to stop you if they see that kids are clicking on the video in any way. That's not what they're going after you for. They're going after you you know because YouTube won't properly monitor their shit, and the algorithms are taking the kids' information without knowing that they're kids. But I digress. We've already gone over that. Um, and anyway, for the most part, the stuff that I've seen, they've been mostly just kind of going on like they have been. I haven't seen any disclaimers like in the past couple months, and they still seem to be fine. But I just know that the moment that I start marking my stuff as not for kids and going on business as it used to be, I know, knowing my luck, the moment I do that, something's going to go down. And I'm going to have to ruin my life. And I'm going to get life ruining bills from the FCC. But whatever. I, at the very least, am planning on marking this video accordingly so that I can get some feedback. Some comments, maybe? I don't know. I don't even know who still watches this stuff anymore. If they do. I've been at this for, on and off over 10 years now. I think over like 10 years. I think I just reached that. I didn't do anything special for it because I wasn't really in the mood to do anything. I don't know, 10 years have come and gone. I've been doing this, again, on and off because of breaks of varying length. And that's probably the reason why. But it's just, with the way things are now with this COPA stuff, I'm so far buried underneath the notice me senpai threshold that I don't think I'm ever going to reach it now. And all in all, it's fine because, again, this is just a hobby to me. But at the same time, there's still that part of me that wants this to be a successful thing. But, And even then, even with the COPA stuff going on, our pal COVID made things worse. I mean, even if I did get into, like, I knew that I was going to be out for at least a couple months, but even if... Because the way that I was going to word it, if I had done this update video when I meant to, back in March at the latest, I would have said that my hiatus is indefinite. And in a way, I guess it still kind of is. Like I said, I'm still not 100% in the want to do things on that front. But, I had a little bit of inspiration, so I'm going to be filming something after this. But even if I did feel inspired earlier to do stuff, it still wouldn't have been the same because with the whole situation going on, Greg wouldn't be able to be here anyway because he is at his own house, quarantine, so it's in self-quarantine with his family. And as far as I know, they are fine. He hasn't told me anything that may have occurred there. So, and I know that I'd be one of the first people he'd let me know if something was wrong to that extent. And as far as I can tell, he and the family are fine. I may, message him or something like that for reassurance after I'm done with this, but as far as I can tell, he's okay. Everyone involved in this production is fine. We're fine. How are you? Yeah. So that's just where we've been. That's where we've been. So how are things going to be going forward? Well, I am going to be a lot more relaxed with this because of the situations that have been thrust upon me. I know that, again, Notice Me Senpai threshold is going to be unattainable for the foreseeable future because I don't know how algorithms work, and even then, if I did, like, fishing for views is not how I want to do things, and it never has been. It's more along the lines of just doing what I want to do and putting it out. The Brutal Moose method. Except, Brutal Moose has, like, thousands of subscribers, and I have yet to ever break 200, I think. I think we're still at that. I think we've been like that. I think we're going to constantly be like that, but that's fine. To the 100 or so who actually do watch my stuff, thank you. and I always appreciate you guys. And even if you just checking me out, I appreciate. I mean, I appreciate everything. As far as people watching my stuff, subscribed or not, I've never really given much of a shit because again, this is a hobby for me. I don't make money off of it. I have a day job that I do for most of the time, but as far as regularly scheduled programming goes, I don't think regularly scheduled is going to really be a thing. I'm not going to try for it anymore because every time I try, I fail to do that. Every time I try to set myself on a schedule, something happens. I get lazy, whatever, and I can't keep the schedule. So it's pretty much just putting stuff up when I can, when I can / when I want to. That's the best way to. It's really the best way of describing that. But for right now, though, the podcast isn't going to be a thing because the podcast really can't be a thing. I can't really. I don't really feel like I can do the podcast without Greg. And a lot of the times we even try to, we barely have anything prepared anyway. So the podcast is, despite the fact that we're, the last podcast we put up is we're back, and yay, it's still not really going to be a thing right now. Toy videos, I think I may do one in the near future. It's just when I really feel like doing those. The main things are the LPs. I have had other ideas, like maybe doing like review stuffs or something like that, but I really don't have the I can't really think of the word. I wouldn't say patience, but the drive. I guess is the best way to put it, to really do something like that right now. But as far as the LPs are concerned, Control, we're not going to be continuing Control. We actually decided that during that recording session where we didn't edit anything. Anyway, the reason we're not doing Control is because we just got bored with it. I don't know what Greg's exact thoughts on the game were. I mean, I know I don't really have much of a... I don't know what my qualifications are, just having watched Greg play. But it was a team decision to not play Control because Greg seemed bored with it. I was bored with it. There were a lot of really cool ideas. I liked the pseudo SCP thing, but when all is said and done, me personally, I didn't care for the story. I didn't care for any of the characters. The gameplay got really repetitive. When all is said and done, the reason we were playing Control was because it was going to be something quick we would be doing before we would do the next thing that I was going to want to do, which was, I think, was from like a list of backlog games that I wanted to play. And that was going to be something that we could probably get done quick in a session or two, and then it ended up being like not that. It's like, I could be remembering this wrong. I think it ends up being like a 30-hour game. Like the point that we're maybe at the halfway point, maybe a third of the way through, and I'm like, we're just like, we don't really want to do this anymore. I think we actually started another LP on the last session, and I didn't put it up because I just didn't get around to editing it, and then I decided to go on hiatus, and I'm like, I'm not going to put this up because it would seem like a really bad look to put up the beginning of an LP and then be on hiatus for a long time and then not put up the rest of it until later. So I don't know if we're going to get back to that game. It was Wonderful 101. I don't know if we're going to get back to that game. But that's pretty much where we are with Control at the very least. We are not going to continue Control because we really don't want to play it anymore. I should honestly not necessarily go into a lot of these LPs expecting to finish them, especially if I'm going to be going for backlog games. I mean, this next one I'm going to be recording is not a backlog game, but because my thing with backlog is my backlog, anyways. If I end up not liking a game or I can't get into it, I can opt to stop playing and move on to something else. And I don't know how LP friendly that is. I mean, I still want to play some of these games in the future, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. As far as Lego Dimensions is concerned, I'm kind of sort of on the fence, mostly towards still wanting to complete it. I just really don't want to play it right now. I did make a bunch of footage. I recorded a bunch of it. I didn't have like the standard setup that I normally do. I have some building segments that were recorded on the camera, and I have some footage from the actual game itself that wasn't commentated over. I'm going to do post commentary with that footage, which is something I don't normally do. But I figure, since I didn't want to break out the microphone and the webcam and everything, I just there was like a day or so where I just really wanted to play. I just didn't want to record anything to the fullest extent, and that was kind of the compromise. And then like right after that, I was just like, I don't want to play this right now, and I have since put it away. But I do still want to finish it eventually, at the very least, because I do have everything I need to reach the goals that I wanted to within the scope of the game for the LP. And yeah, I did spend more money than I thought I would, but that's how the secondhand market works. But I digress. So I'm going to mark that one as on hold for now. I do still I mostly still want to finish it, but I don't know how soon that's going to be. But yeah, that's pretty much where we are now. I'm gonna record, at least start recording an LP of some description, quick and easy, here in a second, and I'll put that up, and it'll be fun. I'm gonna edit this first, just to get it out of the way and put it up. But yeah, it's gonna be. It's still kind of a rough patch for me, but it is what it is. All you people out there who are watching this, hang in there. Things are bad right now. We're not gonna. I mean, I'm not necessarily the most optimistic person in the world, but just hang in there. Do your best. Hopefully, hopefully this rough patch for world history will be over. And yeah. That's all I gotta say about that. So stay tuned, because hopefully there'll be something coming up in the near future here. So yeah.